to why Nunu could roam a bit is that there is no CC in that bottom lane, and the only way they're going to get CC is pretty much if Nautilus shows up. But if they're in Nautilus's jungle killing him, there's obviously no CC going onto Graves. So we could be seeing a huge tactic coming into play in that regard.
Yep, so now we're going to go in the loading screen. It seems we have two team skins. I actually see Nautilus not being quite connected right now. Hopefully he won't get any connection issues. But if so, we're probably just going to see a pause in the earlier phases of the game. Hopefully it won't be 16 minutes long as last time.
And then also, because the purple team is just, their early game is just so weak, we could definitely be seeing an invade as well, because you have the taunt from Shen and the bind from Morgana, combine that with a snowball from Nunu and potentially a cleaver from Mundo, and let's say they catch one or two people, that's an easy first and possibly second blood right off the bat.
And that's so true, just because look at the purple team level 1s right now. The only real good level 1s they have would be York and Nautilus, and even then, Kog'Maw level 1 is really weak, so Soraka's decent, Vladimir is really weak as well. So just because they have Kog'Maw and Vladimir will make their level 1 so weak against an invasion that they're going to be we're probably going to see either a banana strat where they're going to send someone to each single choke point and pretty much ward the raids is what I'm going to call.
And so this game should be, once we get Nautilus finally in the game, we should be underway. But in the meantime, it seems like people are actually being super active in the chat, and I love seeing that, people trying to get involved, and it's not like we're seeing fighting. I don't like seeing arguing and whatnot in chat, and people resort to silly little insults. But we see intelligent conversation. It's really cool to make note of that, because that's kind of how people learn. That's how the game changes, when people argue, discuss, and figure out, hey, maybe this could work. And then that's why you see things like the new Korea meta, or there's actually a huge discussion earlier today in the EU game where we talked about potential hard changes to the meta permanently, not permanently, but for a very long time.
Yep, so we're gonna get into this game right now. I am 10 seconds in.
I am at 13 and 14, now 14. Yeah, I'm at live right now.
Perfect. So we're both live right now. And one thing I'd like to mention, yeah, you're talking about that stream conversation on the chat, is actually one of the reasons I actually like to stream myself, just because I love to read the comments when I'm playing and whatnot. It's like, I think it's really fun to see what people think of your gameplay, and most of the time they point out your mistakes as well and whatnot. And that's one of the main reasons I love to stream, just to see my fans arguing about, you know, in-game stuff, or just, as you said, champion selections and counters and whatnot. So we see the purple team right now being in position to defend that blue buff. As we said, we're most likely going to see an invade from YOLO coming right off the bat, and they might go from the bottom side to actually go through this way and get in the tri-bush right here, but Nautilus will just spot that right off the bat.
Actually, not quite yet, and the scary thing will be is Nautilus is, even with movement speed, it's very slow, so we could be seeing Soraka getting picked off right off the bat here.
Oh, nice taunt coming from Shen right onto Soraka, so that's going to be a really quick first blood right off the bat. Soraka just being a little bit too far out, and Shen landing a very nice taunt. Not even the need for Dark Bindings right there.
Actually, she did land a Dark Binding. It just came off cooldown right now, and now they're going to be grouping on the blue buff, and Nautilus could be forced to start red, or they may actually be going to the blue team's blue buff right now, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing right about now.
Yeah, I think that's the wisest choice. I mean, Nautilus starting red is not that great, because blue buff helps him clear his jungle really fast. His W cooldown is really high in the earlier levels, and when he gets that blue buff, that cooldown comes down, and jungling without W on Nautilus is actually quite slow.
But I mean, at the same time, he does get a little bit of help, and then once he hits level 2, that jungle speeds up tremendously. We'll see if Shen's actually going to come in and realize that Nautilus is trying to steal his blue buff, and Shen could waste just enough of their time that he could disrupt this very easily.
Well, he will take a few damage, but he will get a taunt away out of there, so only taking about 200 damage worth, 200 health points worth of damage, so he won't start that far behind in his lane. Does have 3 health potions to chuck as well, so they will be getting that blue buff as you mentioned, so that's going to go to Nautilus right off the bat, and I wonder if he's going to go for a gank right off the bat or go for his own red buff.
He did not grab the hook off the bat, so he should probably just be going to go clear his jungle a little bit more, and we should be seeing a very aggressive Yorick right about now, because Shen is just he's already lost a good chunk of health, and Yorick can actually zone Shen very easily.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Shen taking a lot of poke right in the earlier phases of the game. And one thing will be interesting as well will be the bot lane, to see if Graves is able to actually push that wave down. And as I said, put Kog'Maw under his turret for the earlier phases of the game. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be looking for. And we already see a lot of poke coming from Graves onto Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw taking a lot of damage. Already both of them almost being at 50% HP.
And now just the snowballs from Nunu. I mean, Graves might even let Nunu help him push the lane, because that looks like their goal right now, to push him up to the lane and through Graves' Qs and Nunu snowballs just kind of harass them heavily. So we could be seeing Nunu auto-attacking, getting his passive up, and just firing off those free snowballs very, very often.
So we actually saw Mundo going for the red buff. He was actually standing in the ward, but the purple team didn't decide to actually stop that. So he will stay in the bush right here, expecting Nautilus to come. And Nautilus is actually completely aware he's there, but he might still go there. They're actually pinging there, so they're aware that Mundo is sitting in that bush, and Nautilus will go the whole way around. So Mundo will just wait in that bush to try and see if he's going to be able to catch him. But he doesn't have a ward on the upper side of the jungle, so you won't know that Nautilus is actually going for his columns right now.
Mundo spamming that left because he probably does think that he's in a ward, but at the same time catching Nautilus right here, and he should be able to easily go toe-to-toe against Nautilus right now.
Yeah, Nautilus will be forced to run away. He doesn't have his Q to go through the wall though, so 2 Clevers landed already. The third one, there he goes, but I don't think he'll be able to actually come in on that. Actually still spamming Slash Laugh, so putting out Nautilus out of his jungle and already getting a few levels early on.
Now, one thing that's interesting about this Yorick is he has teleport, so it's going to be really hard to secure a kill onto Shen. I mean, if he had Ignite, it would be very easy at this point in the game, even though Shen has a level, to be extremely aggressive and secure a kill with a very early Ignite, but now Shen should be able to, between his shields and his Q sustain, stay in lane very healthily, even with all of his health potions gone.
Yeah, but one thing I'm interested about is that if you look at the bot lane right now, Graves is actually completely out of mana and not quite pushing Kog'Maw as I would expect it to do in the earlier phase of the game. That's where this rocket pick from, oh, we actually might see a kill onto Yorick. No, he actually lived out that gank, and so did Mundo. So Mundo tried to get a gank and almost a dive for another kill on the top lane. Not quite landing though, so Mundo barely living with about 14 HP. I did actually quite miss a little bit of that, so we'll rewind just a little bit just to see how that went out.
Now, while you're going back, Shen is trying to push up the lane as much as he can, but actually, he almost did give up first blood to Yorick, and Shen did. He was forced to use Flash.
Ooh, that was really yeah. So they went with the exhaust. Yorick flashed right off the bat onto the turret. Mundo tried to actually get a few basic attacks onto the turret and took a lot of turret hits, but not quite getting that kill.
If you're just hanging around the top lane, you will be seeing Shen almost going down.
Yeah, actually, did miss that. Shen actually is actually teleporting to the top lane right now, so not wasting any time. He doesn't want to miss too much XP, and Yorick will probably force to recall soon enough. He doesn't have any health potions remaining, and he's currently sitting really low on health. And yes, he can health regen back from his skills, but he's actually low on mana as well.
And Shen trying to be extremely aggressive with his taunts, but just barely missing every single time. And Graves, Nunu pushing him at that lane once again. Graves to go back to buy a double Doran's, so he's going to be even stronger against this Kog'Maw. And just looking at the farm real quick, Kog'Maw 28 compared to Graves 34, 35. It's going to be very, very tough for this bottom lane to come back without any sort of big gank.
Well, for now, yes, it'll be hard, but as I said, as Kog'Maw levels up to like 7, 8, 9, those levels where his W range give him so much poke ability, especially against Graves, because Graves' range is 550 if my memory is right. Pretty sure it's 525 actually. So wow, we actually see a kill onto Vladimir from the mid lane. I actually missed that. I was looking at the bot lane for a little bit. So we see Vladimir just quietly farming in his lane, and we're probably going to see if either a flash ultimate, nice clever, coming from Mundo right onto Vladimir, and there goes the ultimate from Morgana, and as I said, that ultimate does still proc under the Sanguine pool, so wasn't able to get out of that one, and without the flash, wasn't able to break the shackles, and that was a free gank for Vladimir.
And then even with all this aggression going on, Yorick did see that Mundo was at mid ganking, and so Yorick is going to try to be a little bit more aggressive against this Shen, trying to deny Shen any bit of experience, any bit of lessons that he can, because eventually Shen will be picking up most likely a Heart of Gold, which will give him a little bit more gold generation, and over time, those gold items get better and better as you go on, because you start picking up bigger and better items a lot sooner. And Mundo with a gank coming from behind.
Yeah, another gank onto the top lane. Nice taunt coming from Shen, slowing Yorick down just a little bit. Mundo's going to go with the W. He's going to try to land a few clevers, but I actually see Yorick popping his ultimate onto himself to try and come in onto Shen, but Mundo will chase that one down, and Yorick with flash down won't be able to escape it. While he might be able to, no, he won't be able to pick up the kill even with his ultimate, so that's going to be another kill for the blue team on the top lane. And we might see another counter jungle actually coming from the blue buff. You see Graves and Nunu in position right now. Nautilus is going to come right there, but they have the ward, so they know it's there. He doesn't have his smite either though, so they might be able to commit for this blue buff if they want to. Morgana's in position as well, but they actually won't decide to. They might think that Nautilus has his flash smite up rather.
Well, it actually is up right now. It just came up. It looks like they have a 3-man gang coming in. Nautilus may be going down.
I'm actually going to go with the flash onto the turret. A nice flash, but Nunu going with the flash snowball, and that won't be enough damage though. So the only thing right there was Morgana not landing the bind. Actually didn't. They probably would have been able to secure that kill if Morgana had done that bind. Fortunately, not quite landing it, and Nautilus forcing the flash onto the turret, so they will get that blue buff.
Now just look at the gold difference right now. We're already at just about 2,000 gold 8 minutes into this game, and we've got a team like this, a tanky team with a gold lead. They're just gonna keep picking up items that make them a little bit stronger each and every time they go back, and not just stronger in terms of damage, but in terms of tankiness. And the only other way that you can shred through that tankiness is through people such as Kog'Maw, and that's why Protect the Kog'Maw is so strong, because he's gonna shred their health big time, but the only issue is, will the rest of the team be tanky enough? Will they have enough damage to kind of hold them off there?
I see a lot of trades going on the top lane. Both top laners being extremely aggressive, spamming their abilities onto each other. Shen's actually going to go with a recall. He does have his ultimate up, so we might see a gank coming up in the very few next seconds. And now Nihilus is actually doing his red at the moment. Morgana is completely aware of that. She's going to go over there. She did see Nihilus though, but Vladimir's in position as well. But Morgana does have the ultimate up, and she's actually going to proc it on both of them. Nihilus might go down, and there comes the ultimate from Shen, and they will be able to probably pick Vladimir as well. Vladimir's going to pop the ghost, but nice taunt coming from Shen right onto Vladimir, and he's going to go down as well. And now they might be able to chase that Yorick down. Does Yorick has flash? There goes the flash over the wall, so he's going to be able to escape it, but still, we're able to get that red buff and 2 kills.
And now that's the strongest part, knowing the timings and knowing where the jungler is. Actually, a dive coming onto Yorick right here.
Onto Yorick, right onto the top lane. The exhaust is going to go right off the bat. Yorick's going to pop ultimate though. Mundo's going to take a lot of damage from the turret, so he might actually be able to try to come in onto Mundo. Not deciding to though. Shen being just a little bit too big with his positioning. And the taunt not landing. So just because, that without the ignite, it's actually so hard to secure a kill under a turret on Yorick, just because they don't have that ignite and he can't heal himself just that much.
And now going back to that fight, that's why knowing the timings and knowing where the jungler is, it's so important, because they've been in and out of Nautilus jungle this whole time, realizing that the red buff may have been up, or knowing that it wasn't quite up just yet. Mundo actually is sitting on top of Nautilus right now.
Yeah, Nautilus actually taking a lot of damage from Mundo. I wonder if he's going to try to commit though. Nautilus is actually landing a nice Q right onto Mundo, but Shen's going to go with the flash taunt onto Nautilus. Mundo will fall though. He won't be able to get Nautilus either, so the purple team actually winning that fight, and they might be able to pick up Shen as well. Yeah, he will get picked off. Actually try to go, nice taunt, but not quite landing it onto Nautilus, and wasn't able to pick up that kill. And now we see a gank fall in the bottom lane for Morgana. We might see a turret dive onto Soraka, but actually they will back up because Graves and Nunu are actually both quite low health right now. So Kog'Maw and Soraka are currently in danger, and nobody's there to help them. Nunu will take the first hit, and Morgana is going to go with the flash ultimate right onto Soraka, and it's going to proc on both, and that's going to be 2 easy kills right under the turret. And will Kog'Maw passive get Graves? Is going to be really close. No, Graves getting out alive as well.
Oh man, these players are impeccable, and the best thing about the Shen trying to taunt Nautilus was just before that taunt landed, Nautilus realized he was going to get caught, so...
Graves actually trying to run through the turret, thinking he would get executed, but just doing it a little bit too early because he knew Vlad was in position, so he will get executed by that turret, unfortunately. And Kog'Maw did grab that kill credit.
Yeah, so that's going to give Kog'Maw a little bit back in terms of gold. So Graves actually not as far on farm as you think he would be, considering all the zoning they've been trying to do. 54 to 65, and just the big difference being that 1 kill ahead on Graves. But I was saying before in the top lane, Nautilus popped the shield just as Shen taunted him. So even though Shen could have potentially taken him out, that extra damage from Nautilus' shield is what did him in, not just the tower shot.
Yeah, that is a good difference. Nautilus W is one of the best abilities for a jungler wise, just because of that extra dot, plus the AoE, plus the shield. It's like a great ability, especially in those kind of fights where it's really low HP and they think they can go with the dive, and oops, no, you can go with the dive. I just shielded 110 damage, and I think it's somewhere around that. It's actually sitting at 80 plus, let's say it's a 103 damage shielded at the moment.
I'm surprised to see that we don't see a Heart of Gold on Shen. It's an impeccably strong item because it gives health and that gold generation, but he's actually rushing what looks like a... Oh man, what is that item again?
Wits End.
No, not Wits End, because he's got the Ruby Crystal, so it's going to be the other attack speed item, the Bones of Electricity charge.
Soraka might go down with that Ignite. One last stick. No, she will survive with the last stick from that Ignite. Graves trying the ultimate under the turret. Only the AoE landed though, not the full damage, unfortunately, so he would have grabbed that kill, but Soraka living with barely about 20 HP. One last stick from Ignite would have grabbed that kill.
Yes, and someone actually just brought up in chat, I keep checking back and forth just to look at it, and someone brought up a very good point, which I forgot to mention, since I actually do play so much Yorick, I forgot about this one, but the clone from Yorick, assuming they do make it the late game on Kog'Maw, will actually be rather devastating, especially with these big health pools that we're going to be seeing on Mundo and Shen.
Yeah, because meanwhile Kog'Maw is alive, they will get double Kog'Maw. The clone won't get as much damage as the main one does, but if Kog'Maw goes down, well, he'll be back up for another, I think, is about 7 or 8 seconds, and he'll be able to dish out free DPS at very long range. Now they were actually trying to look for a Nunu, but they might go for Dragon, though. We see Nihilus going towards this blue buff right now, so they know the blue buff is going to be up in the next few seconds. Mundo is in position as well. Vlad's coming down, so we might see a good team fight going on. Vlad's going to go with the Ghost, but he will take a lot of damage right off the bat. Here comes the ultimate from Shen onto Graves. Graves did taking a lot of damage from Vladimir, but he will survive thanks to that ultimate from Shen, and he will be able to pick up Soraka on the right side as well, thanks to that Morgana Dark Binding. And now Kog'Maw actually getting caught as well. Nunu's going to go with the flash ultimate right onto Kog'Maw. He will take a lot of damage from that ultimate, and Nunu will fall down as well. So now it's going to be a free blue buff and Dragon for yellow.
Man, this blue team is just being extremely greedy. They're all trying to pick up the kills, even Nunu. But after this blue buff goes down, we should be seeing a Dragon. This is just an incredibly aggressive lane right now, and Shen is actually teleporting back to top to keep York from pushing that lane up. Man, he's just not missing a beat.
Yeah, Shen being really active on the map right now. 2 great ultimates so far coming out from. We actually see a teleport onto the Dragon coming from Yorick. He might think he's gonna go with a steal or a kill onto Mundo, but he will get exhausted really quickly. Will pop the ultimate, and he is currently chasing down Mundo. He will probably grab that kill. There he goes, and might get Nunu as well. Graves actually was forced to stay in the Dragon cage, not wanting to die to Yorick either. Yorick will flash under Nunu and will grab that double kill, and Graves will be forced to recall into the Dragon cage. Will Nihilus catch him, though? That's gonna be really close. He might need to go with a quick draw over the wall. There he goes. Nice quick draw coming from Graves to escape that Nihilus Q.
Wow, great awareness on the projectile speed on that Nautilus hook. But now we have York coming onto Morgana now.
And then Morgana will take it. Oh, she's going to miss the Dark Bindings onto Vlad. Vlad's going to go with the Sanguine Pool right under the chit, and she will fall really quickly. Well played from Vladimir right there, dodging that Q with the Sanguine Pool and going with the slow, and just too much burst for Morgana to handle. Hello?
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Little message. Anyway, but now the aggressive York play is actually paying off. I didn't think that that teleport on a Dragon would be so effective, but picking off Mundo and Nunu, and then helping Vlad pick back up in gold with taking out Morgana. Even though York's turret is going to be going down right now, it's actually starting to get this team right back in the game, and this is where York is going to start to get scared, because he does have that mana immune. We should be seeing a couple of nice big tank items on York, especially to get some cooldown reduction. He will be one of the scariest champions in the game besides Kog'Maw.
We actually see Shen countering Nihilus some more. Nihilus actually sitting at level 7 to Mundo's level 8, and Mundo will get level 9 from the next minion. So there goes level 9. So 2 levels ahead of Nihilus right now. Nihilus getting counter jungle early on and wasn't able to really achieve those huge ganks. Yeah, does have 1 kill and 1 assist, so that brings him back a little bit on the goal. But right now we see a gank onto Shen. York coming from the bottom side. I don't think he'll be able to commit though. Shen actually turning around. He does have that Ionic Spark damage, and that is a lot of damage on those 4 procs.
That was the item I was looking for, the Ionic Spark, and that is such an incredibly strong item, especially going up against York, because it'll proc and start to kill off York's ghouls. Was actually really an interesting item to pick. I generally never thought of that one before, but it's a very, very smart play, because that's going to prevent a lot of damage from York's ghouls. At the same time, it does a lot of AoE damage in the middle of the team fight. 125 magic damage, and with all that attack speed that Shen has, including his taunt, clumping people up, that's really not a joke item anymore.
Well, not a joke item. I mean, you don't see it quite often. Probably for a good reason. I actually never seen these used in like really high elo play. It's probably one of the first time I actually see it in a big tournament game like this. But so far it does seem that it is working out, and as you said, that 4th proc on York is actually really decent, because he can just keep auto-attacking goals without getting out of position and proccing those lightning bolts right onto Yorik's face. And one thing I'm surprised about is how Graves' turret fell before Kog'Maw's. That's something that I'm really surprised about. Usually it's going to be the other way around in those kind of matchups, especially Graves versus Kog'Maw. But just Soraka giving that much sustain and mana to Kog'Maw made him able to push down that turret really quickly and quicker than I expected.
Well, the whole thing with Shen grabbing an Ionic Spark, it's because they already have a second tank. Mundo is a second tank. He's going to get a ton of health and a good amount of defenses, because he has that attack damage passive with his E, I forgot what it was called, his Masochism. And so Shen does have the ability to get the Ionic Spark, and that'll help him push the lanes faster and also help his split pushing. So it looks like he's also going for a Wit's End. So tons of attack speed, able to clear waves very, very fast at the same time. It also makes him very tanky, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, the Ionic Spark does give a 250 health plus the Wits and magic resist I'll get from that, so he will get somewhat tanky magic resist wise. He won't have that much armor though, doesn't have his tier 2 boost yet. Wonder what kind of boots, probably Merc Treads or Ninja Tabby, most likely Merc Treads. They do have a lot of magic damage, and we see again from Mundo on the bottom lane. He will get exhausted though, will take a few damage, but Soraka is actually taking a lot of damage. Graves is going to go with the flash auto attack, will he get that one last biscuit attack will finish it. Soraka will be able to escape it, and Graves will get picked off really quickly. Nice ultimate coming from Nihilus right into Graves' face. Nunu will force the flash through the wall. Mundo will get picked off as well, but here comes the ultimate from Nunu, and that's gonna do a lot of damage onto Vladimir, almost melted instantly, and now Kama taking a lot of damage from Morgana. A few basic attacks will finish that. One last, there goes the W to finish off that kill, and they will be able to pick up Nihilus as well under that turret, so well played with the Morgana and Nunu's ultimate right there.
And funny enough, the only person to survive that fight was the Soraka. She actually got saved by Graves because Nihilus perfectly timed his ult. Chasing a little too far. You generally never want to chase Nunu into a bush because then you start to see things such as Empire. If you remember that play from our now Moscow 5 team, where back in that bottom bush, you see Nunu recalling right now. There's a Nunu sitting in that bush, and Ash Arrow came out with Nunu ulting at the same time in Karthus ult, and I believe that was almost an instant triple kill. But this was quite a while ago.
Yeah, I really like to see those kind of wombo combo plays where pretty much every single ultimate lands perfectly. That Nunu ones was amazing. Vladimir took the full damage, so did Kog'Maw. So just those two taking so much damage. Kog'Maw doesn't have that much magic resist, has 42, so that was almost true damage, as Soraka wasn't there. Once Soraka's there, he is sitting at 58, so that is quite a hefty difference. But without Soraka, he is taking almost true damage from that from those AP carries.
Now, right now, we could be seeing that play I was talking about in Champion Select, where Shen has his teleport and his ultimate up, because you're actually extremely aggressive. You might need to just let this tower go down. And now we see Morgana trying to push the lane up, and she may be trying to roam bot once again. So we could be seeing the ultimate onto Morgana. Quick teleport back up the top lane and try to take out that Yorick at the same time, because Yorick is, in fact, out of mana at this point.
And I really like YOLO's timing. Again, aware that they're doing the blue buff, but now Graves actually went a little bit far out. He will get queued by Nihilus. He will go with a quick draw over the wall, I believe, and no, actually trying to decide to come in onto Nihilus. And meanwhile, on the bottom side, Mundo almost picking Kog'Maw off, but if you look on the top side, Soraka will get picked off really quickly. She didn't have that flash up, and meanwhile, Kog'Maw flashing the wall on the bottom side, actually escaping Mundo, so he will survive, but Yorick going with the teleport right in. Will he be able to do anything out of it, though? That'll be interesting. Mundo actually going a little bit far out for that Kog'Maw, and now he might get caught, but if you see Yorick getting caught right now by Nunu and Graves, he will pop the ultimate though. Vladimir will get killed by Morgana and will take a lot of damage. He's going to go with the Sanguine Pool, and the ultimate won't be able to dish out his full DPS. He will get picked up really quickly. Mundo will grab that kill, and here comes the ultimate from Shen onto Morgana. She will go with the flash, Dark Binding right onto Kog'Maw. Will get picked up as well, and now Yorick getting taunted by Shen, and a lot of damage coming from the blue team. But wow, Kog'Maw actually grabbing 2 kills right now. Nunu and Mundo falling to Kog'Maw, but they will be able to pick Yorick under the turret, so that's going to be a 3 for 2, fellas.
I don't know how your brain managed to process all of that. Like, I barely got that without speaking, but the plays that they just made there on the side of both teams were so well done. Especially Kog'Maw picking up 2 kills with his passive. He looked like he was trying to bait people away, like trying to chase one person, then immediately turned right back and picked up the double kill. I love seeing that happen.
Yeah, Kog'Maw's passive can really be used against you if you kill him I would say too late in the fight. Too early, it's not that bad. And here comes the taunt from Shen onto Soraka. She will take a lot of damage from Grace. She's probably going to fall though. One last basic attack. No, he actually won't be able to land it. So Soraka will escape that one once again. Nice exhaust coming from Soraka onto Graves to prevent that kill.
And now the turret advantage is clearly in favor of the blue team, 3-1, with a gold lead of almost 7,000 gold. The dragon is back up, but at the same time, the blue team did have to go back and buy, but they are coming back in. It looks like with this pink ward down, they will be seeing Vladimir and Kog'Maw with no one else in sight, more or less. So we could be seeing them trying to contest this, even with Shen being such low health.
Yep, so they will contest it, of course, and Nunu's going to go with the snowball onto Kog'Maw. Not this time to commit, though, and Vlad's going to go with the ghost and ignite right onto Shen, so Shen will probably get picked up really quickly. Here comes the ultimate from Nunu. Only going to land on Nihilus, though, so he will be forced to back away. Kog'Maw dealing a lot of damage right now to Nunu. Soraka going with the flash over the wall to actually try to escape Mundo. Mundo's going to pop the ultimate, and that Clever will finish the kill on the right side. And meanwhile, on the left side, Nunu will get picked off as well. Vladimir will actually grab the last hit, and now Grace will be forced to back away. And now probably the purple team will be able to do Dragon, but Mundo's still in position to try and smite that if need be. Does have his smite up, but doesn't have flash though, so if he decides to go a little bit too far out, he might get picked off. Doesn't have flash, doesn't have his ultimate up either. But you see Morgana right now actually getting picked off by Kog'Maw. Nice play by Kog'Maw, going with the ward over the wall to pick up Morgana, and really well played, and they will be able to finish that dragon thanks to the smite from Nihilus. And now Mundo will probably get picked off, actually trying to go with the kill on Kog'Maw. He will be able to right before dying, so nice play. And here comes the teleport from Shen now. We'll be able to pick up Nihilus, so that's going to be, and Graves going to go with the flash over the wall, and now he might be able to pick up Vladimir as well. Though Shen did fall really quickly, so that's going to be really close. Whoa, no, he won't be able to, so that's going to be double kill for Yorick. Graves falling as well. So now the purple team actually getting back into this game slowly but surely.
Wow, the amount of action just went on in the last 40 seconds was incredible. And in between all that, Shen managed to land a teleport underneath the dragon, all those champions. I'm surprised he was able to even target that ward. But Yorick is being such a good zoner and team fighter in this part, because just before the purple team started that dragon, he was chasing Morgana down into the blue team's red buff, and that's probably why they've been pulling away with these fights now, because it's getting tougher and tougher for Morgana to get in the middle there without getting picked off, because she actually does have zonies now. It's going to be a little bit easier on her part, but at the same time, Yorick's going to keep leaning into her and trying to make sure that she's not able to land an ult on the rest of his team, and that's a very well done job on his part.
Yep, that was an amazing fight from both sides, and I really love that teleport coming from Shen. Was able to pick up Nihilus just with a few basic attacks. It did die though, but if he didn't die, I'm pretty sure Graves would have been able to clean that up. Unfortunately, the damage from the purple team was just a little bit too high, and he was picked off right before Graves was able to clean that one up.
Interesting to see that Kaguma did go for Wriggle's Lantern, especially since this other team has so much magic damage. Because Mundo, he's not leveling the Masochism. He actually went for 3 points in Burning Agony, 2 points, and the rest in Infected Cleaver. They got Morgana. Shen is also heavy magic, especially with the items that he has between the Ionic Spark and Wit's End. So the only real physical damage Kaguma has to go up against is Graves, but Graves isn't the one focusing him down. So I'm rather surprised with that one.
Yeah, well, Graves can't really go past everyone to try and focus a target. I mean, wow, actually, Yorick did grab that red buff with the ghouls. I wonder if that was intentional, because Nihilus did went with an early smite, so I'm curious if that was intentional, Yorick taking the red buff with the ghouls, or if actually Nihilus didn't mean that. But still, I think a red buff on Yorick is actually a decent buff, because he can just go in there and slow everyone. So that's like the 30% slow coming from the red buff plus his ghoul slow. So that's a lot of CC coming out from him in the team fights if he can live it out.
Absolutely. And now here's the big thing we're going to be seeing. We're seeing some aura items start to come out. We have an Aegis come out on Nautilus, whereas on the blue team, the only thing that they really have is, actually do have an Aegis as well. I did miss that on Dr. Mundo. So, but also a Shurelius. So the blue team, because they're relatively ahead in gold, they are able to pick up those 2 aura items. And I do believe the thing that will help pull them away would be, and you don't see so often, that would be the shield, the Locket of the Iron Solari. And that should be just enough to reduce the ultimate from Morgana, and potentially Nunu to save Kog'Maw and possibly even Vladimir long enough that they could keep poking out their damage and slowly but surely shredding through the blue team.
Yeah, but if you look right now, Shen is actually, as we mentioned in the Champions, like, Shen is doing that strategy where he's pretty much 1v1ing Yorick at the top lane. Yorick has teleport up. Shen doesn't have teleport, but he does have his ultimate, so even if Yorick decides to teleport to try and make that a 5v4, they'll be able to turn it out really quickly. And what do you think they're going to be looking about for this initiation? Are Morgana Dark Binding on a squishy target, or like maybe we're going to see Vladimir flashing in? What do you think is going to be the initiation?
I think their initiation may actually be Mundo deciding to ult in, and while he's charging the enemy team, Shen may ult right on top of Mundo, so he can almost like a Shyvana Orianna combo, where they kind of pop in, Shen lands a big taunt, and then Morgana could flash ult in with Azonias, and that could be their big play right there.
See, personally, I would have actually think it would have been Morgana going with the flash ulti in first and then the follow-up, because I'm pretty sure the channel does go through Zhonya's from Shen's ultimate onto Morgana if she decides to go with the flash ulti Zhonya's.
It does.
Yeah,
it does,
so I think that's a great initiation as well.
But the thing is, if Morgana does do that, all the purple team, once they see Morgana flash in, they're going to flash in instantly, because they know that that's going to be their initiation. So I'm thinking that Mundo, in fact, if he just tries to charge in, they're going to try to focus him, that's for sure. But look at Mundo. He's got almost 3,000 health. He has a lot of tanky stats, 149 armor, 136 magic resist. And combine that with if Morgana tosses a shield on him or Shen does ult in, they're going to try to do what they can to Mundo and Shen, but then Morgana's going to sneak in there, pop her ultimate, and by that point, you generally think that Flash or 2 and Vladir's Ghost possibly will be down, so Morgana will be able to get a clean ultimate off, picking up 2, 3, maybe 4 people.
Yeah, so I'm really interested to see when is this next team fight gonna happen. I wonder if they're gonna try to go in the jungle, just because I'm talking for the blue team, of course. If they're gonna try to go in the jungle because of that AoE comp, because let's say, I mean, it could be completely different from what we've said. It could be just the blue team sitting in the bush and the purple team actually walking in, Nunu popping the ultimate, and the purple team, if they're not quick enough to react to that, that will be devastating.
Yeah, and now Kog'Maw, they just spotted Kog'Maw bottom, but they have a significant amount of time. So Nunu has an Oracles now. We could be seeing a forced Baron coming out. The blue team being pretty confident because they've been doing quite well at team fights, even if they are getting caught out initially. Nunu starting to clean out this vision. So once he realizes that there are no more wards around the Baron area, they will possibly start to group up. And why am I seeing a ping for someone at low health?
Yeah, and we actually see the Dark Binding from Morgana landing onto Soraka, and Soraka pretty much took almost half her health just from that one Dark Binding. Morgana does have that Rabadon plus Zonia, so currently sitting at 400 ability power, so if she does land that ultimate on 5-person, and the Soul Shackles proc on a few, that's going to be massive AoE damage.
I mean, Morgana hasn't even gone for any magic penetration, really, except for the shoes, because just look at the other team. The only real, in terms of magic resist, is Soraka's Aura, Aegis, and I see 2 Spirit Visages, but the Baron going down to the blue team in the midst of all that, and it was actually very well done, because Morgana was out in the open, just kind of dancing around, and you generally would expect, like, you know, the whole team to be there, but between the true damage from Nunu, Mumu having the percent health shred with his cleaver at rank 5, they do a lot of damage very, very quickly, and people kind of they don't expect Mundo anymore to try to go for an early Baron, but if he does max that cleaver, that does give you that scary potential.
You know, that Ninja Baron was actually really impressive because I didn't even notice it before it was done. So they did it extremely quickly without any notice, without seeing in the war, without the purple team actually knowing at all that they did have it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Morgana just showed in mid. So before Morgana showed in mid, though, they had no clue that this just happened. And so neither did I, just because that was such a nice ninja right there from the blue team. So now, if you look at the global gold-wise, they're actually up 4,000. So that Baron is going to help. And now they were able to get Dragon as well. Graves actually soloed that. And meanwhile, Yorick tried to push top, not deciding to go for the inner turret though, so he will just shove that lane, and Mundo's gonna go shove that back up. And the blue team right now will go with the recalls and grab some more items. Graves does have that Phantom Dancer, and Infinity Edge probably gonna go with the Last Whisper next, just because that's the most logical choice. We see a lot of armor actually coming from the blue team. Knowledge does have that Chain Vest. We have the Frozen Heart from Yorick, and if you look at that's pretty much about it though. No ninja typing coming from anyone. And no magic resist on Vlad either. Vlad not deciding to go with the Zonia, is going with the Rabadon right off the bat.
Well, Vlad does have magic resist because he did pick up Mercury Treads and a Spirit Visage, so he's not too worried about in terms of in terms of an Abyssal Scepter or something in that regards. But it does seem like he will be going for a Death Cap because actually in terms of magic damage, they are fairly well off. I'm surprised Vlad isn't going somewhere along the lines of a Zonia, so he can kind of jump into the enemy team, get focused, pop the Zonias, and then kind of just laugh at them saying, "Ha, you're just focusing me for 2 more seconds while my team's destroying you."
And one thing I'd like to point out as well is Shen. It's going to be so huge once he finishes that Frozen Mallet. It's going to have the Perma Slow with the Ionic Spark and with an attack speed, so he'll be able to stick on his target like no tomorrow. And it's going to be really hard to bring down as well if they decide to try to. And now we actually see him being a little bit ballsy onto the red buff. Kog'Maw going with that red buff. Will he be able to get it? I don't think he will commit for that though. So the Kog'Maw will grab that red buff. But meanwhile, in the middle lane, Graves will be able to poke down that turret quite a bit. They will pop the Chevaliers, though, being a little bit scared of Mundo being bottom lane. So they won't decide to engage right there. They're going to wait for Mundo to come back up. Shen does have his teleport and ultimate back up, so he's going to be able to do that double kind of big plays and teleport on the map. Pretty much, we're probably going to see an ultimate from on the middle lane for that team fight, and then he's probably going to teleport up to try and push it down while his team is pushing mid inhibitor, if they do win the fight.
Looks like we may have a fight going on in the mid tower right about now.
Yeah, dude, Morgana did try the Dark Bindings onto Vladimir, but she is going in right now. He's going to go with the ultimate, but everyone's going to, pretty much everyone almost got out of it. Only Nautilus got proc, but they will oh! Graves getting completely focused down by Vladimir. Nice play by Vladimir, picking up Graves really quickly. They were able to pick up Nautilus, but Nautilus really is not the best target you want to focus first. And now with Graves down, I think they won't be able to fight this. If Morgana will flash the wall, and so Yorick will flash over to try and follow her. She will line the Dark Binding, but now she will run right onto Kog'Maw. But she's going to pop the Zonias as Shen ultis on her, so Shen will be able to pretty much save her. Will he go into Kog'Maw? There he goes to Shen. Onto Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw taking a lot of damage. I hope he's going to be able to proc that Phage, and that's going to be probably a kill to Kog'Maw. Not even! Soraka actually saving Kog'Maw right there, so Shen not being able to 1v2 that one. Morgana still being alive though, but we're probably going to see the purple team winning this one, but Mundo was able to pick up Vladimir. Now he's going to run right onto Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw will get picked off as well. He probably will be able to maybe grab a triple kill right onto Soraka, and that's probably going to be it. And Yorick will be able to pick up Morgana though, so nice play from Yorick right there, but Mundo will grab that triple kill at the meantime on the top side, and now Yorick trying to chase Nunu down, but Nunu with that Blood Boil having just a little bit too much movement speed.
And now that was the whole issue I was talking about with Morgana trying to initiate, because the second she popped her ultimate, you saw flashes being blown and the chains being broken. So she had a little bit of upfront damage. I'm actually going to check on how much that is. It's an initial close to 500 damage, but it's over 3 seconds, so maybe around more along the lines of like 300 damage or so. It's not as much as could potentially be put out if she doesn't immediately try to go for that ult by herself. And then with the rest of that fight, there's actually a very nice Yorick almost saving his whole team right there. He he actually didn't use his. I don't think he uses ultimate on the Kog'Maw or anyone for that matter. I didn't quite see the ghost come out. It's not on cooldown, but he does have quite a bit of cooldown reduction, which is probably one of the most one of the best builds for York. See, Nautilus getting caught up top right here.
Yeah, Shen going with the teleport and the taunt. Really nice taunt coming from Shen, so Nautilus will fall really quickly. And Graves will just probably, yeah, he does have enough for that last Whisper. He's going to sell Dorans. Not even sell Dorans, just with that Trid. And now Vladimir's going to go in with the ultimate right onto 3 of them, though. But Graves will turn around and try to bring down Vladimir. Vladimir will back up, so a lot of damage coming from that Vladimir ultimate right onto Graves. But the rest of the team really didn't feel it that much. But now the purple team does have Yorick and Soraka to back them up. They will go with the chase onto Mundo, but nice taunt coming from Shen to slow the Yorick's progression. Graves will turn around, though, to try to pick up Vladimir. Vladimir was going to go with the Sanguine Pulse, so Graves will get picked off by Vladimir. Vladimir almost falling, though, still alive, and the heal from Soraka will keep him alive from that Shen. Shen will try to pick that one up, but Yorick is there to back him up. Will he be able to? The Ionic Spark proccing onto Vladimir was able to pick up that kill as well. And now they will turn around, a nice taunt from Shen once again onto Soraka. Soraka will get picked off as well by Morgana, and now they'll be able to push that top lane. Really well played from Shen during that whole fight.
And when the action starts, it just doesn't stop. And I'm sure your voice is already starting to get tired in this first game, but it is so worth it.
Yeah, it is kind of worth it. And here comes the Shurelya's from the blue team. They will go into Yorick. The slow from Nunu, the taunt from Shen. So that's just way too much CC. And Yorick won't be able to escape it of any sort. And they will be able to grab that kill really easily, being a little bit just too far out. And that Shurelya's plus the Mundo movement speed, plus the Nunu slow, plus... Like, there's so much CC coming out of this team when it's like a 4v1 chase and whatnot.
And that's the benefit of auras, because Nunu, even though he's not a direct aura, he's got the Blood Boil and his slow, so buffs and debuffs are just so tremendous in this game. Combine that with the Aegis. Do we have a Zeke's? I thought I saw a Zeke's. No Zeke's coming out quite yet.
Nope.
Then we do have the shield from Morgana. With the Shen picking up the Frozen Mallet, with all of his attack speed, he can slow 2, maybe 3 targets at a time, just because he attacks so quickly. Because if Nunu throws that attack speed buff on him, he can keep almost 4 members slowed while the rest of his team chases very easily. And then there's Mundo with his cleaver to lock down the last one.
You know, one thing I would like about Seekis is that if you look at their team, they have Mundo that would benefit from it, that have Shen that would benefit from it, because Shen does have tremendous amounts of attack speed right about now, and his basic attacks are doing quite a bit of damage, and he does have that Frozen Mallet to keep that perma slow on, and Graves will benefit from it as well. So Seekis will actually be a great choice, and I think if we see it, it's probably going to be coming out either from Mundo or like Nunu, someone that stays like and can take out a lot of damage. And that's going to be a huge item if they decide to go for it, in my opinion.
Now the Baron is back up. I do believe both teams may know this. We see the purple team starting a group. They have a ward in Baron. Will easily be spotted. I'm not sure if Mundo saw that go down, but Nunu has the Oracle, so that will be taken out quite easily. But now the purple team is kind of split, and Shen is at bot lane starting to push. So we'll be seeing a Shen coming in rather soon.
So we saw the initiation right off the bat onto Mundo. Mundo got grabbed by Nautilus, but he will turn around right onto Kog'Maw. And here comes the ultimate from Shen onto Mundo. And the ultimate from Morgana dealing lots of damage. Soraka will flash the wall though, but Morgana will flash over to try and pick up that Kog'Maw. But Kog'Maw turning around, doing a lot of damage to Morgana, so Morgana will probably fall right there. She's going to go with the Dark Binding onto Soraka, but not quite getting that kill. And now Kog'Maw almost killing Graves over the wall, but Graves was able to finish him up before Kog'Maw finished Graves off. So now with Graves being alive, I think they'll be able to win this fight. Shen's going to go over the wall, but he will get picked off, being a little bit too out of position, and Nautilus and Yorick were able to pick Graves as well, so that's going to be a 2v2, and I think with Shen, they'll be able to win this one. Actually, it's going to be interesting. We see Mundo taking a lot of damage. Nautilus is going to go flash away though, but he will turn around and go on to Mundo and finish him off as well. Shen will try to finish him off. Will his stun come back in time? His stun is up right now, and he won't quite land it, so Nautilus will be able to pick up that kill as well, and that's going to be an ace. Wow.
Nautilus just barely staying alive with 130 health, but oh man, just the sheer abilities of walking in and out, using their CCs at the perfect time, that allowed the purple team, even with their gold deficit and the incredible auras from the blue team, they played that so well. Even in the tight knit alley right there, where Morgana is just so strong because of her ultimate, they managed to keep Vision on top of Graves. Kog'Maw actually did quite a bit of damage to the enemy team because he sat towards those top golems over there, and there may have been a ward down that tri-bush, so he saw Graves start chunking him down. He was just attacking people over the wall as much as he could, trying to not get caught, and once Morgana went down, it was almost, if Kog'Maw stayed alive a little bit longer, it would have easily been a turnaround fight, and possibly even a Baron. But now we see both teams pinging Baron, actually one team pinging Baron, the other team's just going for it right now, and there could be another Baron fight right about now, but Vladimir is heading bottom lane, so I don't think that they expect this fight coming up oh so soon.
Nunu's going to go with the ward over the wall. We'll pick that one up with Oracles. And one thing I'd like to mention about the last team fight is the fact that Graves, when he went with that quick draw over the golems, he did get picked off really quickly. And I think that's the main reason why they weren't able to finish that one up. Because with Graves alive, I'm pretty sure he would have been able to kill Nautilus really quickly. At least quicker than he was falling to Shen and Mundo. And that would have been the difference. And they might have been able to do Baron with a 3-man.
And now there's still a ward here, and Kog'Maw's kind of poking over just to see if he can keep a vision on him while they clear that ward. So he's going to get a couple shots in, but I'm surprised it didn't hit the Baron. If you hit Baron, could get a couple of free pot shots in and make the people just a little bit lower if you do decide to initiate.
Yep, so now both teams are just trying to have good positioning for this upcoming fight. And you see right now Shen doing his good, what he's good at, split pushing the bottom lane, getting ready to ult in if needs be. And as the teleport is currently down, but he does, there comes a teleport though from Yorick onto the Baron, so they will force them back out of the way. But that is on cooldown, and that's a long time cooldown. We're talking about I think it's 5 minutes, yeah, 300 seconds, so 5-minute cooldown on that teleport. But now, meanwhile, Shen is completely pushing the bot lane all the way up to that inhibitor turret, and if this keeps on going, he might be able to grab it as well. And as the purple team will go back to defend, they will be able to grab that Baron if they decide to go back to defend that. So that's where I like really the blue team's play right here, where they're giving the decision to the purple team. What do you want to lose, the Baron or the inhibitor? And it looks like they're going to go for the inhibitor right now because they are preventing the blue team from doing Baron. But the blue team being so smart about it, going back from the Baron every single time the purple team gets back. Now the only person that's over there to defend from Shen is Nautilus. So if they decide to fight it, Nautilus won't be there because Shen can ulti in. That is, if Nautilus don't cancel his channel. But Vlad getting caught right now from a Morgana Dark Binding will take a lot of damage. Mundo's gonna go in though, but Vladimir ultimate not quite landing on everyone. Mundo will almost get picked off really quickly, but here comes the ultimate. But Shen won't be able to teleport because Mundo fell before Shen channel, so that's gonna be huge for this fight. Shen not being there, and Nautilus will be able to make it there, and they will be able to win that fight and probably grab Baron. So really well played on the purple team's part, canceling that channel from Shen by killing Mundo before he actually got there.
I really like that even though Kog'Maw went down, he still managed to try to make his way over to Baron to get a little bit more true damage onto it, but at the same time, Shen is doing all that he can to push 2 inhibitors, and 2 inhibitors for a Baron, I think it's actually a fantastic trade. Even though the purple team is going to have Baron, it's going to be extremely, extremely tough to hold these pushes off now, because with each inhibitor that goes down, the blue team's creep will get even stronger. You can see it, there's picking up 65 attack damage on a range creep, compared to 49 on the purple team's range creep, so there's a huge difference in terms of lane pushing.
But if you look at the purple team's base right now, all 3 inhibitors went down to Shen. So Shen being really smart about it, deciding, you know what, you guys want to grab Baron? Fine, so be it. I'm going to grab all 3 of your inhibitors, and now you're going to be forced to defend your base for the next upcoming 5 minutes.
So now this is actually going to be a very, very interesting deal because this Baron, it gives 4,000 gold in stats, and actually, wow, Shen's doing all they can to try to push this tower.
That next turret down almost got it, actually. But now they will have 6 super minions coming each single wave into their base, so they won't be able to get out of their base whatsoever. So for the next Baron, the blue team rather, will probably be able to grab that Baron really easily with the dragons, with the buffs and whatnot. So they're probably going to be dropping a few wards around these surroundings, the raids and the blue buffs and this bush right here. But you see the purple team actually coming out of their base to push back the lanes before those super minions get in place. But right now the blue team does have free reign. They can backdoor, they can do pretty much whatever they want with the map.
And I see Kog'Maw's trying to push that bottom lane out, but they very smartly, purple team warded these jungle entrances towards their base walls. So Kog'Maw is actually relatively safe, because if they do try to hook around, it does give him a slight bit of extra reaction time. Even with Mundo popping his ultimate, he can still safely get away. So now we see the blue team trying to do whatever they can, taking any quick objectives, because if you look at the gold right now, it is roughly a 4,000 gold lead for the blue team, but that Baron buff for the purple team, well, if you hear my dog in the background, I apologize, but the Baron buff does provide roughly a 4 to 3,500 gold lead, because it looks like only 1 member is without the Baron buff, so it's going to be a slight difference in gold value. But if you just look at it straight on, with the Baron buff extra gold, they're actually pretty even right now.
So do you think the blue team will try to push it down while they have Baron, or wait it out, or just let the minions do their job? What do you think is going to happen for the next fight?
And in terms of the next fight, my guess is you're going to see Shen non-stop split pushing. Even though he did suicide that tower, he's going to try to keep that lane pushing as much as he can. It'll force Kog'Maw and possibly Nautilus to chase after him. At the same time, you'll see Morgana, Graves, and Nunu just trying to push at least one of those Nexus turrets and then a fight, and then shortly after possibly even a Nexus kill if they so desire.
We saw Nahles trying to initiate right onto Morgana's face. That Q just barely not landing. And Morgana did try to pop that Banshee's Veil from Yorick, but Graves will do so with his Smoke Bomb. So now that Banshee's Veil was going to be down for the next 45 seconds, but he does have GA as well. But I don't think they're going to try to really focus Yorick down in of itself. They're going to try to pick, they're going to have to pick Kog'Maw off really quickly if they want to stand a chance of winning the next fight, because right now Kog'Maw sitting at level 18, so he has full damage potential with that Last Whisper, Infinity Edge, and Phantom Dancer. He has that Quicksilver Sash to get out of the Morgana Dark Bindings if she lands it on him, or that Nunu Slow, or that Shenton, so they have a lot of CC that could go. And now here comes the initiation from the purple team. Nahles Ultimate's going to go right onto Morgana, but she will spell shielded though. I mean, Graves that rather, so they won't be able to really try to commit on that initiation. And meanwhile, Shen on the top lane being a little prick and pushing up those turrets meanwhile. And now the blue team with all those minions, they're probably going to be able to either fight it or try to push the Nexus turrets down. And we see the Morgana skew landing onto Nahles. Will they try to commit onto Nahles though? Not going quite for it, but she did take a lot of damage from Graves. Graves with the Last Whisper actually melting down those big chunkers. Yep.
It's incredibly tough to push this lane because Soraka is actually carrying a Zeke's, so Kog'Maw's going to be shredding through people, Yorick having the Guardian Angel. It's just, they have a huge tank line. We see the huge fight, the game-ending fight coming right now.
Their Vladimir ultimate right off the bat, pretty much landing on the whole team. Nunu's ultimate not quite landing though, but Vladimir did get caught on the right side. He is going down right now, and he might go down to Mundo, but the Mundo's going to get exhausted, and he will be forced to try to go around. Shen ultimate's going to go down, though. He will be able to escape it, but now Morgana completely getting caught. But meanwhile, the minions are pushing though, so it's going to be interesting if they're going to be able to win the fight before the minions. Shen going with a teleport. He's probably going to go with the Nexus turret. There goes the teleport onto the Nexus turret. It's going to go for it, and Graves does have G as well, so they will go for the Nexus. Will they be able to get it before they actually die? I don't think they will be able to. But now Shen got revived from that GA, but wasn't able to quite finish it, and they will be able to defend the Nexus. So this game not being quite over yet, and now the score 33-33, fellas. So this is far from over.
Oh my god, and with a 3,000 gold difference, that's essentially nothing at this stage in the game. We see a lot of 6-item builds or close to 6-item builds being done, and it's actually going to start ending up in the favor of the blue team, because with these super minions and the minions being a little bit stronger, the blue team's not going to see any sort of farm except for their jungle, so the purple team's going to catch up so well, and they are incredibly caught up at the moment anyway. And Yorick's Guardian Angel wasn't even popped that fight. If you look, he's still very healthy. He's only down to a third mana with no health lost. I am incredibly impressed with the focus of these teams.
Yeah, the purple team really played that pretty much, I wouldn't say perfectly, but pretty close to it. Were able to defend the Nexus really nicely. They were able to grab both Nexus turrets though, so if the purple team decides to go out just a little bit too far out, they will be able to get backdoored. The only thing though, if you look at the purple team space, there's no wards in the base, so if they're able to grab a ward for that Shen to teleport into the Nexus, but now all three inhibitors being back up, that's going to prevent that. But still, I think that's a play we might see coming out, just trying to put a ward behind the Nexus without being noticed. But going there to put that ward down is quite a task.
Yeah, and they actually don't have any wards in their inventory right now, so they're going to be completely reliant on Shen just ulting into other people. Actually, Nunu does have just placed one of his 4 wards. I did miss that in his inventory. My apologies. But Baron will be coming up in the next 2 minutes or so, I believe. So still no real hope of a Baron as of yet. So the blue team's just kind of at the seat of their pants, hoping that their next fight could potentially turn in their favor. But after what we just saw there, that's the late game strength that we were looking to see. And this could actually turn out to be not so good in terms of the Shen Morgana team, even with a Baron buff.
Yeah, because Vladimir right now is getting pretty strong, has 500 ability power. Last team fight, he landed his ultimate onto everyone. Everyone ate that AoE damage, and Kog'Maw pretty much stayed alive for almost the whole duration of the fight and was able to dish out tons of damage. Sorry for the expression, but still, like, this W is shred, and plus the, like as you said, the Zeke Zero coming from Soraka, he's probably sitting at 2.5 attack speed when he pops W and this and he's near Soraka, or pretty damn close to it at least.
I do believe it doesn't get. I don't think when he pops W is just the health shred and a little bit of extra attack range. But if we look right now, Kog'Maw also has a Guardian Angel. Oh, that's going to be so absolutely terrifying. So there's a potential for Kog'Maw to appear 3 times in a fight before he dies, and then his passive damage. So they are going to be rather scared of this one. Kog'Maw's probably going to be sitting right inside of Yorick's butt. We'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, that's what I like about their team com, is that they're so, I wouldn't say Kog'Maw oriented, but pretty much Kog'Maw oriented. If Kog'Maw, like you said, he's probably going to be able to live during the whole fight, however the fight goes. Even if they try to go with the focus, he's going to be able to come back up from that ultimate from Yorick or the GA. That it will be, yeah, it is up right now, so he does have his GA as well. and plus, as you said, his passive that do a lot of AoE true damage. And now we might see Nautilus getting caught, but no, Vladimir was in position as well, and Kog'Maw wasn't too far out. And right now, the both solo tops are 1v1ing at the bot lane. Shen wants to split push because the Baron spawned, as you see. So we're probably going to be seeing the same tactic YOLO tried pretty much 5 minutes ago, where they're going to try to force the Baron. Meanwhile, Shen is pushing bot, but Yorick being really smart about it. He has his teleport, and this time he says, no, you won't push bot. I will prevent you from doing it. And right now, it's actually Yorick pushing Shen under. So Shen and Yorick will probably stay bot. I don't think we actually see Yorick going up. So what they might do is try to do the same thing that happened last fight, where when Shen ultied someone that was low health, everyone focused their fire on the low health target. Last time being Mundo, they were able to pick Mundo before that channel actually went through, and just because of that, we're able to win the fight at Baron. Shen was able to push the inhibitors though, but still, as you saw, the fight coming after that, the purple team won handily.
Yes, and now one thing you might see is the blue team is looking to initiate a fight very, very quickly. And Shen's actually going back to buy, so you could be seeing a fight very soon. But at the same time, if Shen did stick around, if the blue team did force a fight and Yorick tried to teleport in, Shen could delay it, use his taunt, and then also use his ult and or teleport in, and that could also make it easily a 4v5.
Yeah, I really hope if we see a 4v5, it's probably going to be a good game at this point in time. We're talking about 48 minutes in. Pretty much everyone is level 18, but Nunus. Just one person is not. So those death timers are all superior to 1 minute, and that leaves up to pretty much a game if our team goes down.
So Yorick is adapting to Shen's strategy because his teleport isn't fact up. You may mention that earlier, and that's actually forcing Shen to run bottom lane. And Yorick's actually deciding to come in. It looks like they may start Baron potentially for this purple team. I don't think that they exactly were spotted on wards, but Graves and Nunu were back to buy. So yeah, they were not spotted, and Nunu is just sticking on top of Graves, and that's actually really interesting to see. You would think that he would try to be a little bit more upfront with Morgana and Mundo, just in case the other team tried to initiate.
Yeah, you see, Graves has 2 attack speed right now, so when he's going to quick draw, he's going to be at 2.5, and he does have that GA as well. So it's pretty much the same thing. If Kog'Maw / Graves live out for the whole fight, it's pretty much going to be even. If one of those two get picked up early, though, it's really going to go down in the favor of the AD carry that lives. Because at this point in time, 50 minutes in, AD carries are extremely strong. But the only difference, though, is that if you look at Kog'Maw, he's full build. He has that BT over Graves. Graves only has the Life Scepter, and he's currently sitting at 800 gold, so still kind of far from that BT. It is around 2200 when you only have the Life Scepter. So that's going to be a difference for that upcoming team fight. And we actually see Kog'Maw poking the Baron over the wall and not taking quite a lot of damage.
But you were just making note of Kog'Maw having the Bloodthirster on top of the Zeke's attack speed and lifesteal. It's going to be incredibly hard for Kog'Maw to go down, let alone Kog'Maw's clone as well. There is just so much attack damage. And every time Kog'Maw lands a kill onto a creep, he's getting more and more stacks on that Bloodthirster, so he should be sitting around close to 340, 350 attack damage with armor penetration and a second one of him. Oh my god, it's going to be so scary. And then I didn't even make mention of his health shred, 6% health shred per auto attack. If only he had some magic penetration, that would have been completely devastating for Mundo, Shen, and possibly even Nunu. No, Nunu not having quite as much health as I'd expect.
So now that we actually see the purple team going for the Baron, and I think they're aware they can force the fight. I think they have a upper hand in a full blown out 5v5. And you see right now Shen doing the same thing as last time. Will they let them have the Baron though? That's the real question. Actually, Morgana going with the flash ultimate right in. He will land on Kog'Maw, Yorick, and she will flash over the wall. Kog'Maw will flash over the wall to relieve that Bell Magnus, but nice ultimate coming from Nunu. That's going to be a lot of damage actually. Nice knock-up preventing him from fully channeling it, but still that damage coming out from it. And the Baron was able to fall down for the purple team, so they did turn around and disengage from the fight to grab that Baron. Nautilus will be able to escape with barely 1 HP, but he doesn't have flash up, so he will fall as well. But if you see right now, Nautilus falling, but Kog'Maw is still alive, dishing out a lot of DS. He will die though. So that's the first GA. Yorick is still alive as well. He will fall though, so that's 2 GAs going to go down, and that's probably going to be a good game. Purple team being a little bit, I would say, confident for that Baron fight, and they did decide to go back to the Baron and disengage from the fight, and just because of that, they weren't able to really do what they wanted to do with Kog'Maw.
Actually, the biggest issue in that was Morg flashed in, got her ultimate off, and Kog'Maw was forced to flash over the wall, and that's great. Kog'Maw lived, but at the same time, the rest of his team was getting destroyed by everyone else, and Kog'Maw not be able to auto-attack when he's their 100% biggest damage dealer at that point in time, not being in that fight, so everyone else got taken out, and with no one else to back Kog'Maw up, he easily was taken down.
Yep, I really like that call. Kog'Maw wasn't able to actually do pretty much nothing for the whole first 20-30 seconds of the fight, and just because Graves was there, as I said, the AD carry that's going to be able to dish out the most damage will probably make his team win, and it's exactly what you saw there.
So that was incredibly well done, and I'm very impressed to see, because I do believe when this game, when we were in pregame lobby, the team with Kog'Maw on it, they were sitting in between 1350 and 17,800 ELO, if I'm correct. Whereas the team with man, I'm losing my